Alexander Drake stood at the window of his penthouse office, gazing out at the sprawling city below. It was a city that reflected his ambitions, dynamic, ever-growing, and unforgiving. From his humble beginnings in a small town to the heights of corporate success, Alexander had clawed his way to the top. But the cost had been high. And Emily, an old-time close female friend of Alexander, with whom there was obviously some sort of chemistry, called,
Alex, you can't keep living like this.
I know, Em.
But this is the life I chose. The life I had to choose.
You didn't have to choose, Alex. You decided to.
It's not that simple. The stakes are too high. People depend on me.
And what about us, Alex? What about what we had? I miss you, Alex. I miss who you were.
I miss you too, Em. But I can't turn back now.
Alexander's rise was meteoric. From his first successful tech startup to the sprawling empire of Drake Enterprises, he had built an empire that spanned continents. But with power came enemies. Victor Lang, a rival tycoon, watched Alexander's every move with envious eyes. One evening, Alexander received an anonymous tip about a potential acquisition that could solidify Drake Enterprises' dominance in the tech sector. It was risky, but Alexander thrived on risk. He gathered his team in the boardroom. "Listen up," he began, his voice commanding attention. "We have a unique opportunity here. If we play our cards right, we can acquire Signertech and dominate the market." His COO, Marcus Hayes, frowned. "It's a high-risk move, Alex. If this fails, it could cost us everything." "I'm aware of the risks," Alexander retorted. "But fortune favors the bold. We move forward." As they finalized the deal, Alexander couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. His instincts proved correct when, a week later, the deal was sabotaged. Confidential information had been leaked, allowing Victor Lang to swoop in and snatch Signertech from under them. "Lang!" Alexander growled, slamming his fist on his desk. "He's behind this. I want to know how he got our information." Marcus nodded, already working on tracing the leak. Within days, they discovered a former employee had sold them out. Furious, Alexander confronted the traitor. "You think you can betray me and get away with it?" Alexander's voice was cold as ice. The former employee, a young man named Ryan, trembled. "I needed the money, Alex. Lang offered me a fortune, and now you'll pay the price." Alexander turned to his security team. "Take him away." Desperate to regain his footing, Alexander reached out to Emily. It was a call he had dreaded and longed for in equal measure. "Emily, I need your help." "Alex, what's happened?" Emily's voice was filled with genuine concern. "It's Lang. He's trying to destroy everything I've built. I don't know who to trust anymore." Emily paused before replying. "Come home, Alex, let's talk." Returning to his hometown was a humbling experience. As he walked through the familiar streets, memories of simpler times flooded back. Emily greeted him with a warm embrace, her eyes searching his for the man she once knew. "You look tired, Alex," she said softly. "I am," he admitted. "I've forgotten what it's like to breathe." Emily took his hand. "Let's figure this out together. You don't have to do this alone." With Emily's guidance, Alexander began to see his company through a different lens. They worked tirelessly, implementing more ethical practices and focusing on sustainability. Their efforts started to pay off, earning the trust of stakeholders and the public. During a high-stakes board meeting, Alexander addressed his team. "We've faced setbacks, but we're not defeated. We'll rise again, stronger and better, but this time we'll do it the right way." The turning point came when Alexander, with Emily by his side, exposed Victor Lang's illegal activities at a press conference. The revelation sent shockwaves through the industry. Lang was arrested, and Drake Enterprises regained its reputation and standing. Alexander stood once more at his penthouse window, but this time, Emily was beside him. The city below seemed different, still dynamic and ever-growing, but now a symbol of not just his ambition, but also his redemption. "You've come a long way, Alex," Emily said, slipping her hand into his. "We both have," he replied, squeezing her hand. "And I couldn't have done it without you," Emily smiled. "The price of power isn't just about what you gain, but what you're willing to give up and what you're willing to stand for." Alexander nodded, understanding now that true power lay not in wealth or influence, but in integrity, relationships, and staying true to oneself. And with Emily by his side, he was finally at peace with the price he had paid. With Victor Lang's downfall, Alexander and Emily stood at the precipice of a new beginning. Their renewed focus on ethical business practices started to reshape Drake Enterprises into a beacon of corporate responsibility. However, as they settled into this new direction, they realized that the path to genuine change was fraught with unforeseen challenges. One afternoon, Alexander received a visit from an unexpected guest, Rebecca Moore, a renowned environmental activist. She had been critical of Drake Enterprises in the past, but was now seeking collaboration. "Mr. Drake," Rebecca began, "I've seen the changes you're implementing, and I believe we can work together to make a real difference. Your influence and resources, combined with our expertise, could lead to groundbreaking advancements in sustainable technology." Intrigued, Alexander agreed to a partnership. This alliance sparked a series of innovative projects, from renewable energy initiatives to waste reduction programs. Yet, as their efforts gained momentum, they faced resistance from powerful industries threatened by these changes. Not everyone welcomed Alexander's transformation. Hidden adversaries whose interests were jeopardized by the company's new direction began to conspire against him. Rumors spread, and anonymous threats started arriving at his office. One evening, while reviewing documents in his office, Alexander noticed a peculiar email. It was from an unknown sender, warning him of a clandestine group known as the Consortium, a coalition of influential figures determined to maintain the status quo. "Be wary, Mr. Drake. The Consortium will stop at nothing to protect their interests. Trust no one." Concerned, Alexander shared the email with Emily and Marcus. They decided to dig deeper, hiring a private investigator, Laura Bennett, to uncover the truth about the Consortium. Laura's investigation revealed a web of corruption and deceit. The Consortium had deep ties in politics, media, and even within Drake Enterprises. Their influence was vast and their methods ruthless. Among the names uncovered was Richard Stanton, a high-ranking official with a reputation for underhanded tactics. "We're dealing with a well-connected network," Laura reported. "They've been manipulating industries and governments for years. Taking them down won't be easy." Determined to expose the Consortium, Alexander and his team devised a plan. They gathered evidence of illegal activities, bribery, and coercion orchestrated by the group. But as they prepared to go public, the threats escalated. Alexander's office was ransacked, and their communications were hacked. Undeterred, Alexander and Emily decided to hold a press conference to reveal the Consortium's actions. On the day of the event, security was tight, and tension was palpable. As Alexander stood before the gathered media, he felt a surge of determination. "Today we expose the darkness that has plagued our industries and our society for too long," he began. "The Consortium believes they are untouchable, but we have the power of truth on our side." Just as Alexander was about to present the evidence, the power cut out. The room plunged into darkness and panic ensued. Moments later, backup generators restored the lights, but the data files had been wiped. Amid the chaos, Rebecca Moore stepped forward with a backup copy of the evidence. "We anticipated this," she said, handing the files to Alexander. "Let's finish what we started." With the backup in hand, Alexander resumed the press conference. The evidence was broadcast worldwide, sparking investigations and arrests. The Consortium's influence began to crumble as authorities pursued justice. In the aftermath of the revelation, Alexander and Emily focused on rebuilding trust, both within Drake Enterprises and with the public. They established transparency initiatives, engaged with communities, and continued their collaboration with Rebecca and other activists. One evening, as they walked through the city streets, Alexander turned to Emily. "We faced so much, but we've come out stronger." Emily nodded, her eyes reflecting the resolve they both shared. "We have. And now we can make a real difference together." Their journey had transformed them and their company. Drake Enterprises was no longer just a symbol of power and ambition. It had become a testament to resilience, integrity, and the enduring strength of standing up for what was right. Years later, Alexander and Emily watched as their children played in a park, the skyline of the city a backdrop to their legacy. Drake Enterprises had become a global leader in sustainable technology, inspiring countless others to follow their path. As they sat together, Emily looked at Alexander with a smile. "We did it, Alex. We turned our vision into reality." Alexander squeezed her hand, grateful for the journey they had shared. "And it's only the beginning. The true price of power is knowing how to use it for good." With Emily by his side, Alexander knew that their legacy would endure, not just in the skyscrapers and boardrooms, but in the hearts and minds of those they had inspired to build a better world. What wealth creation lesson did you learn from this video? Comment below. I will give your comment a heart. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel, share it, and like it. Thank you for your continuous support.